Good morning. I'm just going to sit here for a minute and take care of some last minute business while I let everybody kind of see that I'm here and join in. So, good morning. Welcome to Morning to Row Live with Jennifer Rose. I hope you all are doing well and feeling happy this morning as you've woken up. I hope that as you're waking up that you remember all of the millions of things that have already gone well for you as you've done so. Gone right for you. So, good morning, good morning, good morning. This is my second day of doing the Morning to Row live. I am coming to you from Kansas City, Missouri. I'm actually in a town called Lee Summit, Missouri. And I am in a room of the house underneath the person that can't hear very well, and everyone else is sleeping around me. And I love this. This ends up being a very good portal for me between the evening and the morning. And I consider myself the gray area. There's black and white, and there's gray. And I think within the gray is the truth, or the opportunity to discover the truth. So, good morning. Good morning. Thank you so much for choosing to hang out with me this morning while you're getting ready to start your day or maybe even ending your day. Um, I'm just going to take a breath here and think about what it is that I want to talk to you about. But and I'll get started formally here in just one second. Good morning and welcome to your Morning to Row Live. My name is Jennifer Rose, and I'm here for your daily energy check in for clarity, grounding, and alignment. So hopefully you're here for those things, and if you're not feeling clear or grounded or aligned, hopefully hanging out with me will help you feel a little bit better about those things. If you're here with me live, please say hi, good morning, drop your sun sign, and I will check the chat a little bit later. My show is going to run for about an hour, so if you wanted to check in and out, that's cool. And let's see here. So today I'm gonna pull. Well, first of all, I pulled an oracle card for, just to kind of get a little bit of the collective energy. And this card for a Monday in the beginning of the week is spot on. I'm using the Magic Cats oracle card. Okay, and so something interesting happened when I picked this card. I chose it, shuffled uh, in my meditation, and this card came out, which I love. It looks a little bit grumpy, like it doesn't want to be awake this morning, or but I love it. It's just a black and white card. There are no colors on this card, and it says a new beginning. So I'm going to read to you what this says. Meet Dawn. She heralds the fresh start of a new day. She is the first cool breath of morning air. She is the mist lifting and the dew glistening. She unbinds us from our past and helps us remember that anything is possible no matter who came before. Untether your mind. I like that. I said who came before, but it says what came before. Untether your mind from old disappointments and hurts and embrace the dawn. Let the sun rise over your new life. I think this is some great information here. Untether your mind from the old disappointments and hurts. Some of us might have had a long week last week. It's been kind of a rough couple of weeks, but if you feel the energy of the full moon like a lot of us do, it might have felt a little extra. It might have felt a little taxing. I can't sleep very well during the full moon. So after the full moon is in its culmination, I usually like crash out the next day pretty early. So just take some time and make sure that you're catching up on your sleep and at least getting some rest. Even if I'm not sleeping, I still lay in the bed. Okay. So untether your mind from old disappointments and hurts and embrace the dawn. Let the sun rise over your new life. So good morning. Welcome to Monday Morning Tarot Live. Thank you all for joining me today. I'm talking about the Oracle card. So, Miss Dawn, heralding in the fresh start of a new day. I picked her, okay? And anytime that I deal in cat cards of any flavor, I always have some shenanigans. I, I, I'm a crazy cat lady. I mean, the stereotypes, the lesbian, crazy cat lady, that's me. I love all animals, but I prefer cats to everyone. And I think that I'm 50% feline. There's a lot of me that feels cat-like, okay? So I picked that card and I looked at it and I had it in my hand completely. Oh, I can feel my hands getting really, really warm talking about this. And when I laid the card down to put it on the surface to make sure that you could see it, what I saw was this card. And I was like, where in the heck did this card come from? And sometimes you all these cats play tricks with me, and I have catnip, and I keep catnip in with my black cat cards because well, if I want them to play catnip about an hour before I do a reading is good. But to keep them tame, I mean, I'm serious. I will find the cards everywhere. They will fall out. They will it's just, it's just a thing. So this card has a cat that kind of looks pretty grumpy. And I haven't read anything about this card because I honestly just discovered it. And I'm really perplexed as to how these two cards stuck together without my knowing because I stood up, picked the card, held it in my hand. And so they must have been really stuck together, but I don't know how. But this card is about inner fire. So this is for all of you who needs a little extra push. As a matter of fact, I think I'll take a drink of coffee. This is about your inner fire. Meet Sunfire. Her wild creativity burns away all mental fetters. She walks into the sacred fire and forges gifts for us all. She reminds us to let go of being perfect, getting results, or doing what we think we should. I feel super called out. She stirs a lust for life and fans the flames of our burning desires. She transforms us into brave creatures, breathing, pulsing, journeying, guided by the light of spirit. We are born creators. Our hands craft miracles and our eyes dance alive with the fire of one true home, of our true home. Wow, this card really resonates with me right now. um, Doing this show is a step out for me, and um, I don't feel like I'm a very brave person, so I need a lot of help in the brave department. And this cat definitely, like, again, I'm starting off with some Leo fire, it feels like, and it may just be because I'm honestly below a Leo. But this is about Leo fire, and I'll take Leo fire all day long. Okay. But yeah, this is about your inner fire. So if you're having a hard time getting jump started, I guess, like, it's okay to frown about it. But for me, I like to put some cold water on my face, just splash it on there and make sure my eyes are really washed out and get your Vegas nervous, get your Vegas nerve going. Okay. So um, that was the very first card for the collective energy here, and I'll go back to it. It is about a new beginning. This is Dawn, and she's starting the new day with us. Okay, now I'm going to draw another card from tarot for another collective reading. I do see I have a few people in here, and I like to see if I feel like I'm connecting with a person or two who is currently watching with a card, and just start the energy off, and then we'll go on from there. Okay. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. I will be doing this Monday through Friday at 6 a.m. Central Standard Time for 1 hour. And hopefully I can get a good audience. And I'm hoping to inspire some other tarot card readers to come on with me at this time. And maybe we can team up, or just, I think a lot of us need to be available in lives so we can help everyone get their day started or wind their day up. So I'm using just my regular Rider-Waite-Smith tarot card deck today. If you're new or just starting to read tarot, or you've always wanted to read tarot, I highly recommend just getting one of the OG, is what I call them, Rider-Waite-Smith decks. I started off with a specialty deck and got a little confused, so I had to go backwards. And I've cycled through a lot of these decks energetically. Oh, the reading here is this. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Justice. So I know that the cards are definitely, excuse me, I'm struggling with a little bit of allergies today. So Justice, not surprising that I pulled this card. I am a Libra. I am really dedicated to justice and equality in all ways, shapes, and forms. I'm Jennifer. I'm Jennifer. I like fairness in all things. So the Justice card coming up today is probably because I woke up still with what was on my mind last night about the courts halting the mifepristone being mailed to people. Um, and I'm just hoping that if this does go to our Supreme Court, that we get the ruling that says that women can control their bodies. But that's just my opinion. Um, I also understand people who don't agree with that, but I do believe in choice for everyone. So justice. I think there's going to be a lot in the news about what's going on in the world, and even court cases. We're going to see some people arrested. Hopefully, hopefully. I mean, like, hopefully we see some people arrested, and we're talking about the Epstein files and all the other scads of things that are out there that we see every day. Okay, and justice starting off this week and as a collective, I love that because we are all just kind of figuring out what it is that brings us together. And when we figure out what brings us together, we can also see what tears us apart. And that is injustice, and it's systems that aren't working for all of us, and they're just made for some of us. And so I love starting off a Monday with that kind of energy. But I'm gonna draw it back in to my big three is what I'll call it. The actual reason for the daily energy check-in for clarity, grounding, and alignment. So I'm going to draw the next card will be about clarity. Like, what is it that we need to know going into this week? That kind of jazz. Clarity. I have a very nice day here. I think it's already 60 degrees here in Kansas City, Mo. I just watched a thunderstorm kind of pass us by, which was nice because we've been hit with a lot of thunderstorms and tornadoes. Tornadoes. So clarity. I'm going to go ahead and take those two cards away, and I'm going to leave Miss Inner Fire over here on the side because we all need a little inner fire. I'm telling you, it's Monday morning. Ooh, the Queen of Wands talking about inner fire. So this has been a theme for me. Okay, this weekend I've drawn the Queen of Wands several times, and my wife is an Aries, so she's a fire sign. So while I'm there, let me tell you about my big three. My rising sign is Capricorn. So I look pretty serious when you meet me in person at first glance, but it's not the truth. I'm serious, but I'm also a Libra sun and a Pisces moon. So my intuitiveness definitely comes from the Pisces moon. But anyway, enough about me. How about this clarity with the Queen of Wands? So the Queen of Wands, fire signs. And if you don't know, just so I can so I can make sure I know what the fire signs are, honestly. Fire signs are, I just kind of think of my friends. You know what I mean? Like when I say Leo, I can see like 10 friends of mine. Um Leo, Aries, what's the other fire sign? Why am I missing the other fire sign? I don't know. It's too early. See, I need that. So the Queen of Wands, it's a theme, clarity. So listen, we've just had that really intense Scorpio full moon. And this was intense because we're also, moving into, we also had Beltane. And this full moon is what I've been calling like where we get to the truth's truth. Like, this is where if we are the manipulator, maybe it is we start thinking about us being manipulators as opposed to whatever it is that we call ourselves. Like, all of us manipulate, okay, but some of us do it to an extent or to everyone that we're around. And I think we're starting to figure that out. So maybe it is that somebody's going to tell you about how you manipulate people. And, honestly, sometimes we do that and we don't know. It's become a habit. It's become something that we did when we were a little kid, and it's something that's just kind of morphed into this thing as an adult, right? And it's not even anything that we mean. It's just something that happens sometimes. So getting some clarity about who we are in the world, like, this is emancipatory. This is like the I am. For me, I'm still in Aries mode, Aries push. And I know there's some astrology that's in Aries. There's some big, huge things happening, in the world energetically. astrologically, and it really does have power over what's going on. And if you will follow it, it will tell you about events that are happening. It's so eerie how correct I find it in the moment. But anyway, so the Queen of Wands has this beautiful little black cat sitting in front of her, okay? And that's kind of like, putting her bullshit in front of her. This is someone who's apologetically themselves. This person understands that sometimes they're the problem. This person understands, um, maybe they, fill in the blank. We all have these things that we do that people don't like or we don't like about ourselves, but they're kind of ingrained in us, right? And it's something that we've learned or environmentally or just something that we're born with. But the Queen of Wands has fought really hard to um, get to that throne, to understand her own power. She's had to fight for her own power in a lot of ways. And that black cat is a symbol of, like, you can't throw anything at me. Okay. Like, I am in my full form. I know my weaknesses and I know my strengths, and I overall know who I am. I know what is important to me. I know, like, also the queen sitting on the throne is like a boundary to me. Like, you know, don't make me come up off of this throne. Like, don't make me, don't try to manipulate me into acting in that shadowy way of mine. Okay. A lot of people will see our darknesses before we are, and then they exploit it and they manipulate it because maybe it is that we share the same kind of darkness. And I'm telling you right now, the clarity is that, like, understanding our own darknesses and then being able to close off that hole. Like, we have loopholes into our psyche, into our heart, into our soul, because we are open, because we love, because we allow people in, because we are a collective of people. We are not meant to be alone in this world. We are meant to have other people uplifting and supporting us, and we are meant to be a part of a collective, uplifting and supporting others while also being an individual. And the clarity that we gain is really going to put us on our throne. And once someone sees you on your throne, especially the people that are manipulating you, now look, you're going to see the faces of some of your people in your life a little bit differently, possibly. Okay. You're going to get some clarity about that. And I want you to make sure to sit and think about that. Like, so when you see other people's shadows, how do you deal with them? Do you exploit them? Do you say, oh, I see that when she gets drunk, she likes to give out money. So do you get them drunk and play cards with them? Do you get them drunk and take them to the casino? Like, we're going to start thinking about the ways in which, and it's probably going to be brought to our attention if we don't know, the ways in which we're manipulating ourselves and manipulating others. And that kind of clarity is amazing. It's also overwhelming, So all energy is anxious energy, whether it's, I mean, like, it can feel like anxious energy. Okay. So please take several breaks while these clarifications start coming in. Okay. I think today we're waking up and kind of feeling what we felt last week, honestly, and feeling it in our bodies, like physically feeling it, like, oh, we've been through something. And whatever it is that you're thinking about, whatever it is that, has happened, give yourself a break from it every now and then. Okay. Like, you're going to have a aha moment. Like, maybe somebody tells you something about yourself that you didn't already know, or that is really meant to help you, but doesn't feel like that in the moment. Okay. And maybe it's vice versa. Okay. But clarity is just knowing who we are, stepping in our power, maintaining our boundaries, and closing up those loopholes, those energetic loopholes, so people can't get to us. All right. A lot of us are walking away from shit that we no longer want, while also trying to maintain the relationships that we've garnered through that addiction, let's say, through that time of your life, through that energetic period that you needed. Right. So it's not necessary to have a conversation, but these conversations are going to come up. And, it might be a whole lot of looking in the mirror. Okay. But just give yourself some grace. We are humans. Um, a lot of times we've been shown how to act in these ways. And um again, we're born with some of these things that we do that we don't, that the world or universe doesn't see as, like a bright positive spot in our lives. um but it can be, as long as you embrace it and as long as you understand it and don't let anyone manipulate you while you're there. Like, what I don't like is someone who manipulates someone while they're at their very vulnerable. And I have to say, a lot of people will say that tarot card readers will do that. And I don't. People who seem super vulnerable in a really deep place, I kind of, I don't know, but I don't take advantage of them. I don't, you know, try to bait them into getting more readings with me or spending more money with me or whatever. Like, clearly, if they come to me and they need some clarity, I'm going to give it to them. But if I feel like, you know, we can always see the manipulation there, right? Like, I always feel like a terrible, shitty person, but I'm trained in sales. I'm trained as a competitor. And I'm a human in this capitalistic world. We're always kind of sizing someone up. All right. And now it's time to size ourselves up. And if we're not sizing ourselves up, somebody else is going to do it for us. So get clarity on who the hell you are and know, first of all, your boundaries. And second of all, just know that you can't go down that road with the people that you've been going down the road with, And there are going to be some people that you have to get rid of because they're not going to understand your journey and they're not going to understand why you won't do this or can't do this or any of that. And they're going to take that personally, and they're going to feel like that that they're going to make you feel like you've pointed them out. What is being said? They're gonna feel like I don't know. They're gonna feel like it's a manipulation, and there's just like a lot of manipulative energy happening here, and it's hard to unwind. And people in their unhealed form. Maybe it is that we're getting some therapy this week. I don't have therapy today, but I do on Mondays, every other Monday. Um, Maybe it is that we're getting some clarity this week from someone who knows. Queen is mama energy. It can be a sister. It can be anybody who that is graceful with the shady sides of themselves. That is upfront with you about who they are in the world, and not just in speech, but in action. You can say all the shit, but if you don't back it up with actions, you can set all the boundaries, but if you don't maintain them, especially when they're broken, the whole point of a boundary is to keep it, right? So if somebody is breaking it, you immediately need to react. And I know that the first thing that we think about is, oh, they didn't mean to, or blah, 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 but it's not true. We should react. And I don't mean react as in, like an emotional, not registered reaction, but just know that people are going to be pushing boundaries. And if those boundaries are pushing you off of your throne, then you're not here for it. Okay. So the clarity is knowing who you are, knowing where the loophole is, knowing where you're no longer going to be manipulated, standing in that power. And even when people come at you, knowing your dark secrets, knowing these things about you, it doesn't matter. You know too. So what? Who cares? And even if somebody threatens to quote unquote expose you, so what? Who cares? Own up to it if you did it. You know what I mean? But right now it's really about kind of quote unquote atoning a little bit. And if we don't know, we will know. All right. So the clarity is here, and I love this. It might be a little difficult to hear at first, but if anybody comes at you with something like that, please be open to it, because the energy coming in right now is really healing, and we don't want to continue to walk around with this bleeding wound, that we're that kind that we that eventually we expect other people to take care of for us, in one way, shape, or form. Those open wounds that we don't, take care of energetically, just create a vulnerability there for all sorts of people to come in, and it's okay for you to make mistakes. Big shit, little shit, it doesn't matter. Everybody makes mistakes, and no one can judge you for them. And if they do, get rid of them. Easier said than done, I know, but I mean, you really should surround yourself with people who understand who you are as the Queen of Wands, understand that it is that you are in control of your own life, and that like you're sitting here as an example. You're in your power. You already know. So yeah, why it is that you're not taking this advice. Ooh, this is for someone, definitely. Why it is that you're not taking the advice from someone is beyond me. Wow. I just had a very strange power surge here. Like I said, I have a little bit of lightning and thunder, but that left a whole streak of different rainbow colors across my. I don't know if you all can see it there, if it's just here, but whoa, something happened there energetically. So maybe it is time for me to move on and talking a little bit more about grounding now that I've got the Queen of Wands, who is fire, fire, fire. I never did guess that third. Why am I not getting this third fire sign here? I need to go down. Sagittarius. Sag, Leo, Aries. I live with all of them. Okay. I crack myself up. So with this fire needs to be grounded. How do we ground this energy? How do we ground ourselves from being not only upset with whoever it is, maybe that's calling you out, or even upset with ourselves? Now, this is not the energy to sit and brood and boohoo over, okay? Because this isn't new stuff to you, right? You know who you are, and you know that other people know who you are. It's just about being told that that's something different, and appreciative. Now, you might not talk to that person again, and that's your choice, but at least they pointed something out to you that is true and something that you need to look into. I mean you need to look into, if especially if two or three. I told myself a long time ago, if two or three people are telling me the same things about myself, then I need to look into it. Now, you would think it would be one, but I'm a stubborn ass. I don't ever think I do anything wrong. And the people around me will tell you so. Like, I'm not that big of an asshole, but sometimes I'm an asshole. Um, so what do we need to ground ourselves with this Queen of Wands energy? Ooh, I like this. Nine of Pentacles. Okay. So for me, I pulled this, and the Pentacles is an earth sign, so very grounding. And I love this. You can see I don't know if you can, but you can see the Venus symbol here. I think there is a Venus aspect happening. Oh, it did happen overnight. The sun opposed to Venus. There aren't any very big astrology things going on here, but look, this person has their own pigeon. Okay, so talking in all ways, so sometimes when my wife and I have a fight, I don't know if her therapist told her to do this, but I'm pretty sure that I've been told to do this before too. Sometimes when we have a fight and we can't talk to one another, honestly, like, I don't like yelling, and Mel yells some, which is, like, if you're angry, you yell. It's just one of those things. And sometimes we just take it to text, and she will say it all what she needs to say there. She will also set a boundary, like, don't respond to me if you're not going to blah blah blah. And I think that is pretty harsh, especially like in the moment. I'm thinking, who the hell are you, and da 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 da. But after a while, and after I read it, and after I think about it, it really just does, like, kind of bring me down off of the angry part, and I'm feeling the emotion and the energy of, my sweet wife telling me these things, that are going on. Okay. So the messenger, the pigeon there, like, please communicate though. Okay. So therapy, a number one. Talk to your friend, your bestie, your mom and them, whoever it is that you can talk to, who understands you, preferably someone who you don't have to go into great detail with, someone who knows you well enough that already knows this about you. So when you come into your own, or when someone else brings you into your own, tells you about that black cat, or you figure out that somebody has been manipulating that black cat, uh, you know, please make sure you have someone to talk to. Please make sure you have some way of getting out that anger and frustration. It's so grounding. I highly recommend going out into the middle of a field somewhere and screaming. I know that sounds silly, or even screaming into a pillow. I'm serious, screaming helps, and I listen to metal for that reason. Like somebody else screaming, I label that like that is my electric bill screaming. You know, like when that loud roar is like, oh yeah, that's blah 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 leaving my body. You know, like just use that energy and get rid of it. But here's the deal: this Pentacle card, one, two, this Pentacle card, it is already such a grounded card. You know, this person has nice clothes. You can see the grapes in the background. It's like everything is growing here. Okay. So, first of all, like it's going to be great to have some little aspect of your life, like this negativity, this little string of something that you didn't know, or once you unravel it, sometimes it just kind of falls everything falls into place. And I feel like that's kind of the energy here. Like you're that person that fortunately things fall into place. And I think that happens for all of us if we just allow it. Like a lot of us just block our blessings by talking negatively, like, oh, this is never going to happen to me. I mean, I'm that person too. So don't block your blessing. Don't block your grounding moment. Okay. Especially when we're calling ourselves out on our quote unquote darkness. I don't believe in that there's a darkness. This is all like judgmental. It's just something that we mm, know that maybe other people are not going to like, or that it doesn't feel good to them, and it's just something that we should know about ourselves that we don't do anymore. Okay. But the Nine of Pentacles says that you're really well supported no matter what. Like, if this is about a job, you're not, you've got plenty of savings, you've got plenty of resources, period. And if you're not thinking about all of your resources, that's another way to ground yourself. Like, remind yourself, like, if you're making this move, say, for instance, if you're leaving a job, one good way to keep yourself grounded is to find another one first, or at least to put feelers out there, put applications out there, or look to see what's available. Like that's a good way to do it. But you're going to be okay no matter what you decide, even if there's a little bit of time in between this venture and the next venture, or this house and the next house, and this relationship and the next relationship, whatever it is that you have to move away from in order to get your groundedness. It's okay. It's not going to be easy, but you have all the resources. And don't discount resources just because there's a lot of us that weirdly put in our heads. I think it's a lot about survivorship, honestly, but we always know that one resource in the back of our head that is our, quote unquote, big resource, right? There's no big resources. If you need resources, you need to tap them now. If you are a resource for other people, this card says that you are able to, you have enough that you can give, and it may be that someone needs your help to be grounded. Maybe it is that someone comes to you and asks about being grounded. It's both ways for me. I can see both sides, and then in the middle there's the truth. That's the Libra balance in me. Mm. Oh, I forgot that was hot coffee. Still hot. So, one good way to ground yourself is to make sure that your coffee is not too hot before you take a big sip of it and burn your tongue. Okay, so Nine of Pentacles, grounding. Just remember, you have everything that you need. I mean, and I know this sounds weird, but like no matter what spot you're in, the resources are there. Even if you feel like you have nothing, even if you're literally walking away from a house with the clothes on your back, there are resources out there. Don't turn away resources, but remember that we're just finding out some things about ourselves, or about other people, and or a situation that has been happening for a long time. And we need some time to think about that. And this says you have plenty of time to think about that. You have plenty of time to write about it, to read, to do whatever it is that you need to do before you take that next step. Just because you find out about something right now doesn't mean that you have to react immediately to it. We really need to start regulating, and I mean we as in me, regulating our nervous systems, keeping ourselves from Oh, what is that called? See, I can't even think of the self-restraint, perhaps. I can't even think for the about the terminology that I'm wanting to use here, but um, yeah, I feel like you're a resource, and I also feel like if you feel like you don't have resources, that the resources are out there for you. Um, yeah, just remember your vulnerabilities. Just remember this newfound stuff that you found, and not to go into a place that will take that away from you. You know, there's nothing really. There's a lot of healing here. You know, that's going to happen. Just bringing this to light. All right, but you just need a little bit of time to think about it. You need a little time to consult with someone. All right. So remember just to talk with someone that you trust. And hello, welcome. Thank you for joining the Morning Tarot Live. If you haven't already, I would really appreciate you subscribing to the channel, and to let you know I'm here Monday through Friday at 6 a.m. Central Standard Time. Excuse me. Whew. Okay. So we're on to the last card for today, which is going to be about alignment. And I kind of was, to me, alignment, like blocking our blessings. A lot of times we block our blessings right away. Someone will, I'm a suggester. I'm a Libra, so I have all the ideas in the world, and I can't possibly put them all to use myself. And I think I can, and I try, but I have to learn how to give some of these, ideas to other people. And um, oh, I forgot what I was going to say. It's okay. I heard a bird outside and it really distracted me because I was just really trying to listen. It's all right. Alignment. We're going to figure this out. Alignment. Woo woo. I love this. The Three of Cups. All right. So you got to get your besties in them. First of all, you need a celebration. Okay. um, Aligning ourselves with people that have the same values, aligning ourselves with people who have the same goals, aligning ourselves with people who want to do the same things that we do that we're scared to do, um, aligning with those people. I really didn't think the alignment would go that way, but the card says it does. And it really is about the company that you keep. Um, so again, uh, you know, if you're blowing smoke up your own butt, it's time to consult your power of three, your power of Grayskull. you know, um, yeah, I mean, I really do think that we have to extricate ourselves from some situations, pull ourselves out of some situations that we've placed ourselves in. Maybe not on purpose, maybe out of necessity, that we got ourselves out of alignment somewhere, you know. I have a friend of mine who has been out of alignment for quite some time. It's kind of like when her life would get started going, she would get a new place, and she would get a job that paid her well, and enough to take care of her kids or something. Like the car would break down, like not just break down, like have a tire that can be fixed, like completely and totally broken down. And it really was until she removed herself from a very toxic work environment where a couple of people who really didn't like her, behind the scenes, like if a few people don't like you and they, talk about you, like, I'm not trying to make you paranoid, but I mean, we all talk about other people, right? In a negative light, like that manifestation, like, so I'm kind of seeing like someone walking through rooms and someone noticing and actually talking about it in a negative way. It was until she figured that out, And these people were really nice to her all of the time. Like they treated her like, quote unquote family. To me, that's a four-letter word. I like all four-letter words, but I don't like the word family because of the way traditionally it's been taught to us. It doesn't exist anymore in the ways that we've been taught. So we need a new word for that, in my opinion. But anyway, so it was until she extricated herself, until she left that damn job, where those people were rooting for her, where those people were being two faced with her, where those people were behind her back, wishing her ill will, like really pushing that energy, even though, this person is an anxious person and kind of manifests some of that for herself. She's getting a lot of help from those people that she was working with. So she left that job. She found a new job with people who actually like her. It's a more joyful job. She's not a person like that enjoys joy. Like not all of us are like, oh, I'm annoying to people in the morning because I wake up and if it's 4 in the morning, I'm just like, I'm so happy, I'm alive, let's go. What's going on? I'm that new person every day I wake up, right? But so aligning ourselves first of all with the right people. And then second of all, understanding when the universe takes us out of something, it means it's not for us. Okay. It means that there's something else out there that's better for us that we have to pay attention for. I don't like using these absolutes with the haves or, like I'm not telling you have to do anything. A lot of people, daddy me down, but I'm not trying to be a daddy. I'm just saying to me, it's a passion. It's a passion play with words, but we have to take a good look around us and see, does this work? Like, does this neighborhood reflect who I am or my values or even what I look like? Do I get along with my neighbors? Do I get along with the people I work with? Do I get along with these people I'm hanging out with? Do I get along with myself? Like, and the universe will pop us right out of something that's not good for us to make us available for something that is waiting for us that we're currently aligned with. And then that's when sometimes we can block our blessings, like if we don't believe that it's for us, then it's not going to come to us. Like I hear a lot of people in my circle say that, I'll be like, how are you doing today? And they'll be like, better than I deserve. Well, no, you deserve to feel great. You deserve to feel wonderful all of the time. If you're hurting and there's an answer for it, please find it. We're not meant to sit in our hurt, in our emotional hurt or our physical pain. It is not for us. We don't deserve that. We deserve happiness. We deserve a life that's unfettered by all of those things. Okay. So you deserve it all. You deserve it all. You deserve it all. Don't forget that. Okay. And aligning ourselves and putting ourselves in the place like, what is your big dream? I just heard Pretty Woman. What's your dream? What is your big dream? Dreams become reality all the time. We watch it on TV. Every single person that's on TV dreams coming true because they had to act on it, because they had to work for it, because they had to put themselves in the place to be chosen for it. So if you want to go act and you're not acting, but you're working at Target, then do you think SNL is going to come and make you the Target person? Like, seriously, we've got to still take extra steps to put ourselves in the path of what we deserve. And we also have to stop telling ourselves that we don't deserve shit because we deserve it all. We have to stop telling ourselves that our dreams, when we see them coming true, when we see them manifesting, we can't turn away from them. We can't get scared. Um, we also don't have to overwhelmingly share that with people until the dream is complete, until we see the final run, because sometimes people will be jealous and take it down. So dream and act on that dream. We've got to place ourselves in the place that we want to achieve. We want to place ourselves in a place in the place that makes us happy, that seems fulfilling. Like I think all my life I said that I wanted to be a writer, and everybody's like, "Boo-hoo-hoo, boo-hoo-hoo." And I have an English degree, and I'm not writing, and I should be writing. I'm writing, trying to write AI. I'm trying to write like AI, so I don't have to use AI for my stuff. And it still, I mean, like it still looks like AI. So how do you know if I wrote it or not? Because I'm having to follow an algorithm, and it's just different now. But listen, the way that we, everything that we, including what we put into our bodies, everything that we surround ourselves with, has an impact on us. And I think for a lot of us this week, we're looking at ourselves and other people are looking at us, and we're going to figure out where we want to stop hanging out, where we want to stop placing our energy, and start looking for, aligning energy. Start looking for those people. Like, so my therapist says over and over again, you're going to find your people when you go start hanging out in the places that you love. Like, even if it's your by yourself. Like, if you love karaoke and there's a karaoke bar and you're only one singing, you won't be the only one singing after a while. You'll be known as the person that keeps coming in as the only one that sings there until a bunch of people come and sing. Like, somebody's got to pop it off. Somebody's got to put their pedal on the gas. All right. And somebody needs to get some better friends and some more celebrations. Like, also in alignment, like, we're not meant to work all the damn time. We're not meant to work 80 hours a week. It is not for us to work our bodies into the ground for someone else if you're not working for yourself. And it's also not for us to work our bodies in the ground working for ourselves either. So just know that you're worth more. You know, if you're an independent contractor, you're probably not asking for enough for whatever it is that you're doing. All right. So surround yourself with those people. If you want to have a six-figure salary, then you have to be around people that make six figures, right? Like, it's a good idea. You don't have to, but it's a good idea to surround yourself with those people. Bring it to you. Call it in. And I'm Venus. I magnetize. I sit and manifest. I just think about what I want. I write it down. Especially, like, I do bills constantly. Once a day, I look at the money, what's in the banks, what's in the things, and I just plan it out every single day. I don't know why I'm going through that, but so if you're having troubles getting your days going, and if you're having troubles because maybe it is you're in between and you don't know what to do with your time, it's time to go to the places where you can find who you align with. It's time to, if you need friends, find a friend. You don't need 10 friends. You need one good friend. And if you don't have one good friend right now and you don't have a therapist, get a therapist, because they're not your friend. But they're a good stepping stone to one, because your therapist will call you out on stuff, and they will also tell you when you're right. Uh, and that's kind of what I want out of a friend. I don't want somebody to just be on my side and tell me everything looks good just because they like and love me and they want me to do well. I don't need somebody to try to be, my mama. I just need somebody to be real. We all want somebody to be real, and we got to be real with ourselves first, FYI. All right. So I see it's 6:47. I got about 13 more minutes left. So I like to draw a card to kind of round it out, is what I say. We've been rounding a lot without pennies in the world. I find it interesting that we just don't take them out and redo all of the registers, but whatever. All right. So it looks like, this week is going to be a little bit about, remembering our boundaries, taking, being serious about our boundaries, taking them serious, and, you know, understanding that either you've learned about some things that are going on and you've got to put the kibosh on it, or B, you're getting ready to figure out some things are going on and you're going to put the kibosh on it, but you're still going to be on your throne. You're still going to be in your place. And honestly, after I look at this, very brave, very, it's kind of like, yep, I knew that anyway. It's kind of like a reassurance to yourself. So take it like there are a lot of things that you already know in the back of your head, and this is just, validating you. Take it as a validation. Take the truth and wash it down with something that you like, and and then know that, once we get here, we're already grounded. All right, we already have the things that we need. We already know how to get things too. Like, if you don't have them, you know how to get them, and to ground yourself would be to go get them, to go ask for them, to go find them. But in this case, it's really about, talking, um, grounding yourself in, new self-talk, the way to talk to yourself, the way to deal with whatever's happened here to make you the Queen of Wands, or whatever's placed you back on your throne. Being able to talk about whatever it is that's coming in, with someone, or being able to have that talk, with someone face to face, because sometimes it's really difficult, but there are times that we need to do it right. So if this is your time to do that face to face, but this is all about talking, grounding, just make sure, keep your home your home is where you feel the safest. And so if whatever has come down is left you at home more often, I don't think that's a bad deal. Like, in all seriousness, because you have everything that you need at home, okay? And as a matter of fact, you have a messenger pigeon, which is also DoorDash. You can do whatever you want from home. So if you need some extra grounding today, just stay home this week. And then we've got the Three of Cups. That's your alignment. You got to align with happier times. You've got to align with people who celebrate you. You've got to align with people who have your same ideas, but really people who celebrate you, people who are just like, I am so happy to see you. It doesn't have to be that. It can just be a hug or just like a little tint in someone's eye. When somebody is happy to see you. And it always makes you feel so well. And you can actually say, oh, I feel like they were really happy to see me. Yeah, they were. And you want to be around more people like that. You don't want to be around people who you walk into a room and they're like, hey, what's up? Like low energy vibes. We need high energy vibes, okay? This kitty cat just staring at me is hilarious. All right. So for today, be conservative, all right? Um, be conservative. The Pentacles, health, wealth, finances. It's about your physical health, your mental health, about the things that you own, um, your work, your coins in your pockets is okay. And this is you can see, a very conservative card. All right. So today is about grounding yourself, and it's about understanding. Well, first of all, like maybe it is that you've made a plan, like with all the stuff that you've just found out, and now you got to save money. This Four of Pentacles person it really looks like they're standing behind a big, huge building. So it could be a big, huge, even corporation, somewhere where they live, and it's really outside of town. So, like, honestly, if you're looking to move inside of town, it's going to take you saving some money and energy, and your damn mental health. And once you get out there, it'll save your mental health. But conservation today, just kind of take it easy. No, not kind of. Take it easy. Give yourself grace. Um, Make sure you know what's in your bank account. Don't overspend. Don't overspend with your brain. Don't overthink too much. Don't overfeel too much. Don't overdo it. Like those two coins on the bottom of your feet. Like, it's okay to walk a little bit, but don't walk 20 miles out of anxiety. Don't walk 20 miles out of hurt if you're not in shape to do it. Don't go couch to 5K just because you're angry or upset about something, or you're angry or upset about anything. So just be conservative with yourself today, okay? Give yourself grace, give yourself plenty of space and time, give yourself plenty of breaks, okay? Oops. Give yourself plenty of breaks. Uh heart heart health and mind breaks. So if you're not a person that normally takes a break at work, today is a good day to take a break at work. If it's a nice day, go outside and just take a deep breath. Go outside and stretch your arms up to the air. Take a deep breath. Let the sun shine on your face. Get some of the vitamins. Get some of that vitamin D in you. So Four of Pentacles is where I'm going to leave it. And I think that's a really good way to start the week. Again, I do feel like a lot of us feel like we've been through something, um, and I know, like, I struggle. I don't suffer or struggle. I manage rheumatoid disease, and on weeks, like we've had a few weeks here where we've had a lot of severe weather. And what that does is the pressure makes my legs swell, and it gives me migraines, and it does all sorts of weird, like I just feel like the Stay Puft Marshmallow person. And after that, though, after that's done and I feel the relief, it's not really a relief because there's still pain from where everything was puffy. There's still, like, my mind is still just kind of a little bit groggy. It doesn't fire as quickly as it should, as if I'd taken drugs or something. So there are a lot of things that make us feel that way. Um, but we can get through it. Gosh, I just got interrupted by some energy here. So I'm going to check the chat and see if there's anything in the chat right now. And I do want to remind you, if you haven't already, please subscribe. I'll be here Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. and talking to you again about tarot for the week and, just kind of touching base and checking in. I'm really hoping that I can become a morning ritual. I really need a morning ritual, and I like to talk. Um, my wife sleeps in, you know, a, compared to me, sometimes she might sleep 4 hours more than me, and that's not saying anything. It just means I get up early. And I like to talk, and she's not a big talker anyway, but she would really prefer to have a cup or two of coffee before she has full out conversations with me about 4 hours of life. I've already lived online outside, tell her about, ooh, let me tell you about my day because my day is almost over with now. So I'm hoping that you and I can meet here. I'm hoping that we can do this every morning, get to know one another so I can do some readings for you here and keep the channel alive as we go through the stuff together as humans, as Americans, as, just, I don't know. I just feel like I need to be a part of the collective. And this is a really great way for me to be a part of the collective and to give back with my psychic and intuitive abilities. So I really appreciate you being here with me today so we can get to know one another. And also, I'll be talking more about astrology as I learn astrology. Um, we are on Facebook and Instagram, and I've been posting some of the astrological aspects. Well, it's been like a whole 3 or 4 days. So hopefully I can stay within that cycle. But if you are on Facebook or Instagram, I would really love for you to follow us there. And it would let you know where we will be for events. So Mel and I have decided to once again be vendors at events, and we will be doing tarot card readings and selling tarot and oracle decks and so on. But we found a really good place in the 420 community. So we are teaming up with some local dispensaries, and we also are hitting some of the prides here in Missouri. So I know that we will be at Kansas City Pride. I'm not sure what day or time. We will be at a wellness tent with Mockbod. And Mockbod is a really great resource here in Kansas City. They're on Troost in Kansas City. Look them up. It's MOCBOD, and that's masculine of center, big on dapper. And they're doing some awesome things. They're them along with, I think it's our spot KC are allowing a wellness tent, a nice air conditioned spot for those who, you know, just would like to look into their wellness, I guess. I'm not exactly sure what kind of people are going to be in the tent, but I'm sure massage therapists and all sorts of things. But Mel and I will be there for Casey Pride. And then what's the next Pride? We will be at Joplin Pride in September. We will be at Columbia Pride in September. And we will be at, hopefully, if we're accepted. Now, all of our applications are out there, and I can't imagine why we wouldn't be accepted. And we're really hoping to get back to Fayetteville, Arkansas for Pride and to visit. That's going to be a longer stay to see some of our friends and some of our fans and to read for some of our clients of 6 years. So that's what we're up to. I really appreciate you hanging out here with me. I see a couple of people who have been here with me this morning, and I do appreciate you hanging out. And I hope that today brings you all sorts of joy and clarity. I'm all for truth and clarity. Remember that justice card. The justice card came out. So if you're going to court today, I think good outcomes are in your favor. And just remember to speak your truth. Don't stay silent at all. Okay, like if you're able to talk and you've got something on your heart to say, even if you're in court, say it. And if this resonates for you, it's absolutely your message. So today, if you're going to court, I feel like justice is on your side. It may not feel like completely on your side, but it's a good start. And what I'm saying here is to please say whatever it is that's on your mind and heart. And that's going to tip it over for you today. I love this portal between night and day. It really suits me. And I think that if you'll hang out here with me uh, for more days, you will see the intuitive and psychic abilities that I will be able to uh, lend to you during that time. Okay, well, I think it's time to wrap this up. Thank you so much for joining me here for Morning Tarot Live. Again, I'll be here tomorrow at 6 a.m. Central Standard Time. I hope that you will join me. Thank you so much. And remember today, give yourself grace. Look for that clarity. Find that truth. Don't turn away from it. Give yourself grace. Give yourself time. And then reevaluate. And come back here tomorrow and we'll talk about more of tarot aspects and all of my kooky advice. Thank you. I'll see you tomorrow.